In this week's Do Something With Your Marketing, the recession is here. You may not be feeling it right now, but it's pretty much here. And we know this because we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and we see travel and trade and stock markets and all these things not doing well. And that takes a tremendous amount of money off the table that will have ripple effects through the economy. Whether we want it to be the case or not, it is what it is. So how do we prepare as marketers, as business professionals, for the recession that is in progress right now, even if you're not feeling it? Let's talk about marketing specifically. Number one, probably the most important thing, start doing ROI assessments now. Assess the return on investment of everything you're doing in marketing to the best of your ability. And if you missed it, this is in the March 8th newsletter. If you scroll up to the top of the newsletter, you will see the link to my session at Social Media Marketing World. And if you're just watching this on YouTube, if you go to wherecanigettheslides.com, you can watch that session for the methodology of analyzing ROI. Assess the ROI of every channel you've got, and honestly, ruthlessly cut. If you've got a channel that has negative ROI, pull the plug. I know it sucks. We all have our channels that are near and dear to our hearts, but you got to focus on what's working right now. When times of crisis come around, there isn't enough resources to mitigate weaknesses and double down on strengths. So when it isn't a time of plenty, let go of mitigating the weaknesses unless they're like, business critical weaknesses, and focus on your strengths. Focus on what is working. So that's number one. Number two, save money wherever possible. If you opened up your corporate credit card or your accounts payable or whatever it is that you buy stuff with for the purposes of marketing, check to see how many things you're double dipping on. How many Adobe Creative Cloud subscriptions do you have? How many Salesforce.com subscriptions do you have? How many services do you pay for that you're not really using, right? I know even as a small business, Trust Insights has fat that can be cut. Stuff that's like, we don't really use that anymore. Let's just turn that off. And we do that. We assess that frequently, but it still sneaks in there. Be especially aware of subscriptions that auto-renew. Turn those off. Make sure they're manual. It's a much better way to go. Number three, double down on digital. This recession is going to be an unusual one because of the nature of the crisis. The crisis is a global pandemic. And as a result, you're seeing around the world people being told you must work from home, you must stay away from others, you must be physically distanced from other people. Social distancing is what they're calling it. Well, what are you going to do when the power works, the lights work, the internet works, water works, basic utilities are fine, but you can't leave your house? This is what you do, right? You fire up Netflix, you fire up this, that, the other thing. Double down on your digital marketing because people literally cannot go anywhere except here. And this is going to be your best friend. Digital of all sorts will be your best friend in this particular crisis. If you don't have a webinar platform, get one. If you don't have a video conferencing platform for video calls, get one quickly before vendors say, hey, you know what? This would be a really great time to double our prices, right? Buy that stuff, get it squared away, get some practice doing stuff like live streams, webinars, any kind of video where you can communicate with as much information as possible like this. It's going to be essential. Get some video editing software. Get something inexpensive, maybe even open source software. There are some really good video editing packages like Shotcut. If you go to shotcut.org, free, right? Now the interface, not as good as, say, like a polished product like Adobe Premiere Pro. But Adobe Premiere Pro is a bit like taking your Maserati or your Lamborghini to the grocery store for groceries. It's kind of overkill. That's all you got, but it is overkill. So double down on digital. Everything digital that you can do that will help people, business professionals who are trapped at home, podcasts, video blogs, interviews, live streams, shows, you name it. Double down on that stuff. Test it out. If you're not doing it right now, test it out so that you can be in front of the pack and you can get some attention. Number 4, pricing tiers. look at two different types of pricing. A, variable pricing, where there are more affordable versions of your products and services for companies that have had their budgets cut substantially. And look at subscriptions, auto-renewing subscriptions. Even if they're not much money, is there a way to turn your product into a service that people can subscribe to that give you reliable income? That's more of a product marketing question, but especially if you are a digital-first company, definitely need to be looking at subscriptions and making sure that you deliver really great value for the subscriptions so that people go, oh, okay, I see what I'm paying for. This is worth it. This is worth having around. And number 5, and I think probably the most important of all, years and years and years ago, when I was just getting PodCamp started with Chris Brogan, one of his mentors, Jeff Pulver, said of the event marketing space in particular, but in marketing in general, we live or die on our database. Great quote, accurate quote. We live or die on our database. Your marketing lives or dies on your database, not your social followers, right? Not people you've had random interactions with, but who do you have permission to reach out to? And even more importantly, who remembers to reach out to you? Mitch Joel, another great friend and mentor, says it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Be building your lists. Be growing your list as fast as possible. If you're going to spend money on growing an acquired audience that is yours, that you own, whether it's text messaging, whether it's email, whether it's a private community on like Slack or something, but have it be something that you own that is under your control, not a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or any kind of social network, because you don't own those. And at any time, the vendor could flip the switch and say, now it costs 10x to access that audience, right? Even with Slack, I'm a little hesitant there. There are some tools like Mattermost that allow you to run a server for yourself. Build your list, please. Have it ready, have it warm, have it in place so that people can be reached immediately once they are comfortable with you, so that you can do things like roll out those pricing tiers, roll out those webinars, roll out those live stream chats and things like that. You need that. But if you try and do it in the middle of the crisis, if you try and do it when everybody's scrambling to try and get attention and loyalty, it's not going to succeed, because you won't be able to outshout those who have bigger pockets. You have deeper pockets. You need to have that relationship now. So please reach out and warm up those lists now to the best of your ability. That way you're ready. Now, I know this can come across, this whole process of planning comes across, can be a little doom and gloom, can be a little depressing, but it's a lot more depressing to be caught unaware. It's a lot more depressing to not be ready. Some folks have found this out, the hard way. We've been talking about this pandemic now for 2 months, really. 2 months since it really became a thing. I've been paying attention to it since late December of 2019. And those friends who listened got, a bucket of hand sanitizer and all their supplies, and they're ready to go. And watching people like hoarding toilet paper and clearing out shelves. You can't get rubbing alcohol anywhere nearby. But if you planned ahead and you paid attention and you took advantage while the getting was good, you have enough stuff for you and the people that you care about. The same is true in this marketing right now. The opportunity is now. Now build your lists. Now get your digital going. Now get your differential pricing. Now save your money, so that when the downturn really becomes apparent to everybody, regardless of what kind of business they're in, you're ready. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be ready. I want you to make it through this either okay or even better than you were before we started. So that's my hope for you. Take advantage of this stuff. Take advantage of this information now. Build those lists. As always, if you have follow-up questions, please leave them in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.